I wanted to talk today about Sophia Ritter Daly. Her married name was Daly. She was my third great grandmother, and this is her stone, as well as her daughter Olga Catherine. She went by Catherine most of the time, and Eliza. They lived right here in Jefferson Township in southern Adams County. My grandmother was born in 1839 in Ohio, but she died. I have two different dates for her. I have the end of December 1887, and then it was recorded January 1st of 1888. And this is according to the health department in Jay County. And her daughter, Catherine, was born in 1867, and she died January 1st, 1888. She was 20 and a half years old. And her daughter, Eliza, she was born in 1868. She was 19 and a half years old. She was born in June of 1868. They were both of the girls were born in Ohio, and they were from the Locking Hills area, somewhere around in that area, but I'm not sure of the exact address. They had something very common to happen to them for the era, and it happened to a lot of people in this community here, and they succumbed to measles. Their information at the courthouse states that they had measles with complications of pneumonia. The reason that the county officials think that the reason that they have two different dates for Sophia is because she probably died on the first date, but when the doctor came to record the dates, they were probably all recorded the same date. And it's only a one day difference, so it's not that large of a deal or anything, but it's just that's how you get 2 different years, 2 different days, because it just happened to be on the new year. During that breakout of measles, it also affected another member of my family. And even though Elizabeth was not actually part of my family at that time, her husband, Philip, became part of my family during the years following. And Elizabeth and Philip moved here from the Hocking Hills area in Ohio. I do not know if they knew each other before, maybe through acquaintances. I don't know that. And my second great grandpa is Philip Irwin, and he married Elizabeth in Ohio. They ended up having all of their children but one in Ohio. They had Annette here in Indiana, and for years they were kind of a power couple. He was a hard worker, and it sounds to me like she was as well. Philip, they moved here in 1880, purchased a small farm, and cleared the land, him and his boys. They built a one-room cabin. Being an industrious worker, he and his boys cleared the farmland and purchased more acreage. And as he moved his cabin, he enlarged it. He moved it to another area of land that he had cleared, and then he enlarged it. They were members of the Evangelical Church. Grandpa Irwin even taught singing. He used a tuning fork to teach singing. He was quite the industrious person. He had different projects going on. He would cradle wheat. In Ohio, he had his own company, and he sold it out to move here, and that was a thrashing company. And he He also made handles for tools and rebuilt shoes. He had many talents to make his family comfortable. And he lost his wife December 9th, January 9th of 1888 to the same measles outbreak that my third grandmother, Sophia, passed away from. They all lived in the same area. They lived fairly close by. I don't know their exact addresses, but they were all in the Jefferson Township. Well, 6 years later, Grandpa married Lorena, and it's Lorena Pearl, and they got married. Lorena was 19, and Grandpa was 56. But when they got married, it had been 6 years since the outbreak. And Lorena's mother is my third great-grandmother. So Lorena became my second great-grandmother by marrying Philip. She was 19 and he was 56. They had 2 children, Iva Mae and Janie. And Janie was my great-grandmother. She lived to be 106. So I have a lot of stories from her through the years, because she lived quite a long time, and she knew, she stayed right with it, right close to the end. And she talked about different things through the years, how they made a living and stuff. Now her father was an older man when she was a young girl. I believe she was 18 when he passed on. So my grandmother lost her dad young. And but it's just ironic that Grandpa Philip married Grandma Lorene, and they were both dealt hardship through measles. And measles, they talk about it being a childhood disease. A lot of children contracted measles and passed away pretty quickly. They'd have they'd catch it within a day or two. They'd have a high fever. They'd have the terrible rash. But then it would go into pneumonia. And that's exactly what happened to these 4 ladies. It went into pneumonia. And then they were not able to recover from the pneumonia. And many times you see that the measles would almost wipe out a whole area. The doctors didn't even come to the homes often. They would stay away because of the chance of them contracting measles, because there was not much they could do. Keep you comfortable, treat your symptoms, keep you eating, keep you with water, and many times that just did not do it. It counted on each individual person. But I just wanted to share today the little bit of history I have out here with my 2 times great-grandparents and my 3rd time great-grandmother, and with my great-grandfather's first wife, Elizabeth. They had hardships together, and I'm sure that the families knew each other before. I don't know about before they moved to Indiana, if they knew each other. But I just know that, and like Elizabeth passed away at age 46 from measles. She was a young woman still, and Grandpa finished raising the children. And when Grandpa and my second great-grandmother got married, his children from his first marriage were almost raised. Annette was still at home, but the other children were all married and out of the home. And then they had the 2 girls together. Thank you.